Good morning. Good morning. Oh man, some mornings more than others. I wish that I could see who was joining me. Anyway, that's irrelevant. I love this time of um, my morning study together, and love it. Just getting into that frame of mind that makes all the difference for the entire day and for everything I do. And so we left off yesterday on page 26 in my book, this little yellow book, little gold book, I guess. Actually, I'm using the oils before also in my gratitude. So if you're only doing the mindful mornings and not the gratitudes, and I have this little gold book of yes attitudes. And we're talking about right now, or I was reading right now about this positive attitude, and that this means that this attitude, it's up to me. It's me that has to do the work. And this definition of a positive attitude is how I choose to dedicate myself to the way I think, and how I choose to dedicate myself to being positive, and how I choose to dedicate myself to responding in a positive way. And that my choice must be consistent. And so yesterday we had this day of doing errands and being back in the hospital setting again for Ben to have his blood taken. And we couldn't get the results. And it would have been very, very easy to be frustrated and annoyed by it. And yet it was like, oh, well, we'll have to do it tomorrow. And the whole online way that they didn't want to give them to us because we're supposed to do it online. But the system was denying that Ben was a person and that all his credentials, they said they didn't exist. And we're like, got to be something good about this. And it's very interesting. But just again, the reminder that it's sometimes easier to do this, or it's easy. I've told myself in the past that it's easy to do this when everything's going good. And the real challenge comes when things are contrary to what I would like them to be. And that it doesn't maybe go so smoothly. And yet, the definition of a positive attitude, and especially a yes attitude, is not simply because things are going well. It's to have this attitude in every situation. And because he goes on to say that most people have a positive attitude some of the time, this means that some people have a negative attitude all the time. What? Most people have a positive attitude some of the time. This means that most people have a negative attitude all of the time. Few people have a positive attitude all the time. And you know who those people are. They're evident by the way they conduct themselves and the way they respond to things. Let's go back to you. Because in the end, that's who you really care about anyway. Positive is a state of mind, and all the things that surround positive can either reinforce it, challenge it, or destroy it. That's another choice. What choices have you made? And what is reinforcing you? Oh, that's good. Attitude challenges you are everywhere. And the closer they are to you, the more valuable you become. What attitude challenges are everywhere, and the closer they are to you, the more valuable you become. Ah, I see. Parents, siblings, spouses, and close friends all influence your thinking. Often their problems become your problems. Often their life crap becomes your life's crap. And often their pity party sends you an engraved situation like a fool, you accept it. Ooh. Me, I walk away. I don't pity people in the pity party. I focus on me. I guess if I had to describe their party in one word, it would be the obvious, pitiful. Me, I study attitude every day. It reinforces my automatic positive thinking. Me, I look for how I can take a situation and turn it into a win, even if it means jumping into the middle of the negative battle a little bit and emerging in the positive. One of the biggest mistakes people make with their attitude is leaving a situation angry or grumbling. Big mistake. Employees not talking to one another over petty issues, spouses using words of hatred that they can never take back, and reactions to confrontational situations that are left in a negative state. Think about the last few heated exchanges you've had. What was your response to the situation? How did you leave the situation? Direct that, dissect that, and you'll have a clear view of where your attitude is and how much distance there is between yours and a positive one. Oh, really good. I like how this backward reflection is only beneficial when we're desiring a positive outcome, not simply to rerun the situation and find the blame in it, or to point fingers, or to justify the negativity. But like he says here, I walk away. Me, I walk away. I don't pity people in the pity part. I study attitude every day. It reinforces my automatic positive thinking. I look for how I can take a situation and turn it into a win, even if it means jumping into the middle of negative, battling a little bit and emerging in a positive, and to never leave in the negative state. Is there a formula? He says. Of course, there's a formula. The formula, like many other elements of attitude, is hokey. And on the surface, the formula seems way too simple to be the driver of something so important as your attitude. I'll give it to you later in the book when it's time to take action. Let me give you a hint about the formula from an old attitude quote of Aldous Huxley. Oh, it's not what happens to you, it's what you do with what happens to you. Oh my goodness, this is so true. It's not what happens to me, it's what I do with what happens to me. It's not what I do. It's not what happens to me. It's what I do with what happens to me. And to remember too that, life does not happen to me. It happens for me. So how could I upgrade this? It's not what happens to me. It's what happens. It's what I do with what happens to me. It's not what happens to me. This is a little bit different the way it's worded here. It's not what happens to me. It's what I do with what happens to me. And even I like that, to upgrade that perspective and just like, life doesn't happen to me, it happens for me. And every experience happens for me to learn something, to be educated, to get a new perspective, to somehow see beyond the situation, to know that there's something in this. There's something in this of good. There's something in this of positivity. And that it's all turning out for the very best. The situation of not jumping into somebody else's pity party. And people share with me all the time of how that things could just, like things aren't turning out well, or something of disappointment, and how things are going. And it's really, it's really an automatic response now that I hardly even think about it, that there's something really special about feeling someone's situation and then simply being able to redirect it or point it into just a reminder that everything happens for a reason, and it's all turning out exactly the way it's supposed to, and that there's good in everything, and to be able to do it in a way, I think I'm learning, or I think my goal is to do it in a way that doesn't diminish the situation or their feelings, and yet helps them to look beyond the situation to something even better. And to be able to do that in my own self. And so then over on page 28, the next page, it says, introducing the most important person in the world. This is good. Hint, it ain't the customer. In every one of my seminars, I select one person and ask them, Bill, when you're speaking with your biggest customer, who is the most important person in the world? 90% of the time, the person I select will answer the customer. Really, I say, suppose there were two people left on the planet, you and the big customer, and one of them had to die. Who do you want to see drop dead? Ooh, this is kind of weird. The customer, says Bill. So we're now established with you, Bill, are the most important person in the world. But the problem is, when you're speaking with the big customer, they think that they are the most important person in the world. You can take the word customer and substitute mother, father, sister, brother, friend, or teacher. Everyone feels as though they're the most important person in the world. It wants to feel that they are most important person in the world. Your job is to treat them that way. And your positive attitude permits that action. This is real easy to understand in business. It's called customer service or helping. In families and other personal relationships, it's a bit more delicate. These are people who you will be with forever, or at least the one you thought you would be. This is where your attitude can affect your quality of relationship bit by bit over time. It will either go up or go down or stay the same based on your attitude and your responses to the situation that you encounter. Everyone wants to be positive, and many people even think that they are positive. They aren't. They act in the terms of what will serve themselves best rather than serving others the best. A large part of getting your attitude from negative to positive and from positive to yes is phrasing responses in terms of the other person, not in terms of yourself. The secret to a positive attitude is being selfish on the inside, the way you think about yourself, the personal pride that you have, the person you seek to become, and your thoughts just before you respond or take action, and then helping or serving others because you feel good enough about yourself to help them. Interesting. So this is just getting started here. The most important person in the world. Once you get the fact that positive attitude is all about you on the inside, your thoughts about your actions and responses, you've made the first breakthrough. Once you have that realization, once you get this first breakthrough, then it's time to turn the page, understanding that you are the most important person in the world is a key step in the direction of yes attitude. Wow, this is going to take some thought and some repetition and some diving into this part. So the most important person is not the customer. The most important person is me. Understanding that I am the most important person in the world is a key step in the direction of positive attitude. I'm going to have to percolate on this for a little bit. And so it looks like I've been rambling on here. Okay, well, I guess we're going to continue on with this tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me today. And you have an amazing day. Percolate on this one with me. And have an amazing day. We shall see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Have an absolutely wonderful day. Bye for now.